Well, my fifth top tip for people who are just starting tramping is entertainment. If you're out in a truck, you're generally out in a truck by yourself on an evening. Generally, you will get to spend time with pals down the road. You know, when you catch up with them, happen to park at the same places. First thing I will say is, don't get into the drinking culture. Drinking through the week. A lot of guys, well, not a lot, but there are plenty of truck drivers out there that like a few beers on a night, which I personally don't agree with. But it's each their own. It's personal choice, isn't it? But evening entertainment, you've got a laptop that I'm using I'm currently editing a vlog, a weekly vlog. So you've got your laptop you can take and you can stream movies from there. There's various apps on there. If you've got Sky at home, you can get Sky Go, so you can watch Sky. Make sure you have a decent data package on your phone. There's a lot of packages out there that do unlimited Wi-Fi, so you can use your phone as a hotspot. So you've got a Wi-Fi hotspot, plug your laptop, or I've got a 10-inch tablet that I use for watching TV on a night. And I've got a dedicated Wi-Fi hotspot from EE. It costs me about £17 a month, and I get 90 gigabytes. Generally, I don't use it all. I do watch a lot of YouTube, which does suck your data, so be careful of that one. But then you've got options of reading books, listen to music, chat to your missus on the phone if you really need to. There's plenty of options, but it's things that you need to think about before you actually get down the road. And then you sat in your truck all night giving it this, because you haven't got a clue what to do, because you've not pre-thought about it, and well, you don't know what to do then, have you? Think about your entertainment, your personal entertainment on an evening before you hit the road. My tip number 5. Tip number 4 is security. And when I say security, I don't mean load security. I mean personal security. Looking after yourself. Get into the habit. And it might sound girly, it might sound weak, I suppose, for want of a better term. But get into the habit of getting in your truck and locking your door. Lock yourself into your cab, and then there's no chance of anybody grabbing your door handle, ripping your door open and threatening you with a knife, whatever, to take your truck off you, because it does happen. Lock yourself in your cab. If somebody comes to your door to speak to you, wind your window down to speak to them. If you don't know them, that is, obviously. But just keep your door locked. It also, you get into the habit of locking your door then when you park up on a night. You go pay for your parking, wherever that may be, whether it's services or truck stop, or you go get a shower, whatever. Come back to your truck, you get in your truck and you automatically lock your door. That means you're not going to bed with your door unlocked. There has been cases of drivers going to bed at night, forgetting to lock the door, waking up and the clothes have gone, the wallet's gone, the ignition keys have gone. They've actually been raided while they've been asleep in the cab. Very ballsy move by the thief, but it does happen. It has happened. Security of your load overnight. Do what you can to look after it. If you've got a load on board, park in a sensible place. Don't park in laybys and things like that. If your company is willing to pay for parking, park in a secure parking spot. Even if it's services are not secure by any means. Us as a company, we had a curtain cider, 2/3 emptied, parked in Hopwood Park, and it took a lot of expensive gear. The guy was parked, he'd run out of time, so he parked in the services thinking it'd be okay. It wasn't. So it's not going to stop it getting robbed. If you wake up through the night and you feel movement in the back of your truck, or you hear somebody messing around with your diesel tank, do not get out of your truck. Do not get out of your truck. Put all your lights on, make as much noise with your horn, start your engine up, make as much of a racket and a ruckus so they'll spook and they'll run. because ultimately they're cowards. That's why they walk around and do their job at night. They're cowards. They will run. If they don't run, keep yourself in your cab, dial 999, sit back and let them take it. It is not worth your well-being to save that load. You might get a thank you, but when you're laid up at home with a broken leg, or you've been stabbed or been shot, whatever, is your company going to pay you? Some might, most won't. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your well-being. Let them take it. Make as much noise as you can. Ring the police. Personal security. It's your responsibility, that. Look after yourself and you'll get home at the weekend. Tip number 3. I don't know if you can hear me very well, but tip number 3 is spending time away from home. I'm on board a ship at the moment. I've spent the last week in Northern Ireland, and I've just sailed from Dublin to we're heading to Holyhead. So spending time away from your family is pretty cack as a tramper, a HGV tramper. So before you start the journey, before you start as a tramper, you really need to think about the sacrifices you're going to make, the sports days if you've got kids that you won't go to see because it's midweek and you're all down the road, the parents' evenings. Again, if you've got kids, if you're single, well, let's go back that way. Light is much better. If you're single, it's not a problem. You've got to get yourself to look after. But as a family man, you really need to think about it. It's not for everybody. I know people that have done it, tried it, given it up because it just doesn't work as a family. One thing you've got to have, if you've got family, you've got to have an amazing wife, a very, very supportive wife or partner. If you've got that, you stand a chance of being able to do it. Just bear it in mind before you actually embark on the tramping lifestyle. That's it, mate, for this bit. Bye. Hi guys. My tip number 2, or second top tip, is your health and well-being. When I say that, what I mean by that is, well, as you know, myself, I'm battling weight, excessive weight, lots of it, and up to me tramping, I wasn't too bad with weight. I've always had to fight my weight, but I've not had to fight it like I'm fighting now. I've been tramping now for 10 years, and the first probably 7 of those years I didn't really realise that my weight was piling on like it has. And it wasn't until I had quite a major reality check that I was getting fatter, much fatter, and fatter by the day because of the junk and crap that I was eating while I was down the road. As we know, it's a very, very sedentary job, this. As in, when I say sedentary, I mean you sat still for a lot of it. Yes, you might get out the cab, you might do a bit of roping and sheeting, chaining, etc., which is hard work. But the majority of your job, you sat still doing nothing, and it's not good for your health. So my top tip for number 2 is to be careful what you're eating when you first start out as a tramper. Get into the habit of eating correctly. Don't get into the habit of snacking on Greggs and fast food on a night, KFC's, McDonald's, Burger King's. When I say that, there's nothing wrong with having the occasional one every now and then, but it's so easy when you park up on a night. If you park up at services, it's so easy just to go in and get food, takeaway food, and it's much harder to get a healthy option, and you'll end up fat unless you're one of these lucky people that can eat for England and don't put weight on. And if you are, I don't like it. That's a bit harsh. You know what I mean? I'm jealous. So that's my my tip number 2 is healthy eat. Look after yourself. Look after your health. My top tip, top rule. Rule number 1, personal appearance. If you're going to a job interview as a new driver, you want to go looking smart, you don't want to go looking like a scruff. What I mean by that, if you're going to a HGV job, it's not made to drive if you're going in a pair of jeans. As long as they're tidy and they're clean. What you don't want is to go in a pair of tatty things covered in oil, or covered in chip fat, or you get what I mean. Personal appearance. Make sure your hair's tidy, make sure you've had a haircut, make sure you've had a shave if you've not got a full face of beard, not a full face of hair, should I say. But simple things like I'm doing now, polishing your boots, polishing your shoes. Can't beat a nice clean pair of shoes. First thing I look at when I meet somebody, see what the shoes are like. It's a good indication of the man. I've always thought anyway. I'm not saying you should pull them if you're on parade, but nobody's going to employ you if you're scruffy. I'm going to use it, blink. Look nice and shiny when we're done. So go for an interview nice and tidy. I'm not saying wear a suit, I'm saying wear a tie. Unless the job dictates it. Some companies would like you to turn up in a tie. That's down to you to judge. Not for me to tell you. Keep nice and tidy. Clean clothes. When you get a job, when you get into the job well and you're enjoying yourself, just keep yourself tidy. Clean clothes on, make sure you get a shower. If you're tramping through the week, you're staying away from home, there's plenty of shower opportunities, there's plenty of places to go get a shower. The last thing you want to do is turn up at a customer and you stink of BO, or you've got last night's tea dripping down your shirt. The last thing a customer wants to see. It's not good for you, it's not good for the company, your company that you're working for. It's just not nice, is it? Would you like somebody turning up at your house that stunk? So, personal appearance, so I can say, keeping your truck nice and tidy if you get the opportunity to. If you've got a nice truck, keep it a nice truck, keep it clean inside. Take your bedding home, get it washed again if you're tramping. Personal appearance, keep on top of it.